Guys, my name is Ashley, and I think I'm gonna go by, name my YouTube Ash Catch Budget for now. I am here to share with you today my beginning to my debt-free journey. It's kind of a long time coming. I'm 28 years old, and of course, I have student loan debt and credit card debt as well. So it's March 6, 2017, and this is going to be the first month that I'm going hardcore with my budget and my debt-free journey. So I think I'm going to take, I'm not going to take, I'm going to borrow from Budget Girl's idea to put my amount in my video titles. It's a little intimidating, but I think it'll be good and hold me accountable. I won't update it that often. It'll probably stay the same during quite a few videos just because there's so many different places, and usually most of my interest hits once a month. So there won't really be a change until I pay something or things like that. So let's get started with, let's just put it out there. I am $42,288.29 in debt. 42,000. It's really scary, but you know, that's what we have to start with. So, how did I get here? Let's just say I was divorced at 25. Great, thanks out there. And of course, there was a lot of financial troubles. There was, when my father passed, I did get some money, and I own my car outright, though I spent most of the money on the car because I was young and I didn't know how to bargain, and I spent about $23,000 on my car. I love it, and I take care of it, and hopefully we'll have it for a long time, but at least I own that outright. But after that, I started to spiral out of control, I guess. I always thought I could be financially well off, but I started using credit cards, and then I went to school, and I went 4 years without taking a loan because it was covered by scholarships and things like that. But took me 7 years to finish my degree. And in the last 3 years, I found myself a lot of times needing money for rent, and we didn't have enough money to get by. And suddenly I was taking out my student loans in those last 3 years. My student loans totaled up to about 30,000. And of course, after interest accrued and everything, I am left at the moment with $30,532.60 in student loan debt. And then of course the credit cards got me, and I was left after the divorce with a good amount of credit card debt. And I just never got rid of it. It just kind of evolved, and that tends to be one of the problems, right? Is we tend to keep spending even though we're making payments. We're making minimum payments, keep spending. And, last Christmas, not the one that just passed, but 2015, of course, I added $600 to one of those credit cards, and it keeps going, and it's a vicious cycle that it's hard to stop. And then in 2016, I kind of hit a rough patch that got me to this point now. So there was bug problems that we had to use an exterminator for, and that was pricey, but it wasn't something that we could have taken care of by ourselves. We also had some car troubles where I had maybe $600 to pay on mine one time. My boyfriend had another throughout the whole year, $2,000 worth of work to do on his car. And my boyfriend's another story. I'm trying to get him on his own debt-free journey. He only has his car and maybe some loans from his parents, but not anything as staggering as mine, I guess. I am trying to help him get a budget done and get him into everything that I've been learning, because it's just better to have a budget and live on a budget and know what you're spending, because I know we both have problems with that. Sorry for all the ums. This is, you know. So not only that, it was the bugs, the cars, then we had to move during a lot of this. And this all happened like in the second half of the year. We ended up having to move. The place we had was just way too expensive. We had it for almost 2 years and we were blowing money on it. So I had the moving expenses that we had to cover and the deposits on everything. And that just racked up everything else. I ended up with all these emergencies, what I considered, well, the bugs and the cars were kind of emergencies. I didn't expect that much. And I was using my credit cards to help pay for these. And I ended up maxing out a couple of my higher balance cards, 4,000 each. So that was disappointing. I completely maxed them out, and it was out of necessity, but we shouldn't be taking more debt for necessities. We need to start budgeting and get to a point where we have money for these kind of emergencies, right? So I hit another rock bottom. Like that was already pretty rock bottom, end of 2016 and 2016. So, but at the beginning of 2017, I was expecting to have to pay taxes. I paid taxes in 2016, and I thought I was going to have to pay more again. And I had all this debt. And because of my job, January, I hardly have any work going on. I hardly had any income. So I thought the answer would be to get a $2,000 loan. I went to one of those loan places, the really shady, bad ones, and of course was approved right away. But in the end, for 2 years, I would have ended up paying $2,000 more on that loan. $4,000 paid back for 2 years for a $2,000 loan. Needless to say, it was very upsetting, and that was kind of my rock bottom point. I did end up talking to my boyfriend about it, and I went to the credit union instead. And yes, I shouldn't have taken a loan out regardless, but I was approved at the credit union for a much lower rate. I only have to pay back like $2,100, not $2,000 plus $2,000. So $2,100 for the $2,000 amount. I went back and paid that loan company right away and got them off my back. And I think that helped me out a lot. But of course, I have $2,000 more in debt. But this is where it begins. And this is where I'm going to make a change. After that, I did my taxes, and luckily I will be getting money back. So I'm going to use all of this to help me get started. And so I already decided myself I needed an emergency fund. And I already kind of figured out that maybe $1,000 to $1,500. And then I knew I needed to start paying down all of my debts. Well, then along the way, perfect timing, I happened to see a Facebook comment about Dave Ramsey. I looked him up and I started watching his videos. I got addicted. And I got addicted to watching budgeting videos and all of that. And I learned that baby step 1 of course, is to save your emergency fund. So with my income tax return, I saved my emergency fund immediately. And now I'm going to baby step 2. Part of my plan, though, is I am going to save some more in sinking funds, because I know I'm going to have to replace my car brake pads soon, and just in case I have anything else, and because, like I said, in January I hardly have any work, I'm going to save up for that. I know I should be putting every penny towards my debt snowball, but I need to save for these things first. But I am starting my debt snowball, and with some of my income tax return, I am also paying down a couple of the lowest balances, and maybe I can go over that with you in a debt snowball video. And so I'll be able to pay those off, knock 2 of them off of there, and get started on my debt snowball, and take those payments and start paying and start getting it down. And for me, on my income, it might take a few years, but I am determined to do this. And I am motivated by everybody that I see going through this journey as well. So I hope you'll join me too. Thank you. Bye, guys.